What's up guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the 10 book challenge. So this is the first official long form video that I am doing in terms of reading 10 books before my birthday. If you guys saw my book haul video, I told you guys I'm on a book buying ban. I started it on October 9th. Right now it's October 23rd. I have not bought a single book other than the first 7 that I bought this month. And the goal is this, to read 10 books before my birthday that are only a part of my physical TBR. Let's begin. The first book that I'm going to be reading in this video is called Murder at the Cape Bookstore, a Cozy Capers book group mystery by Maddie Day. I got this at a free little library like 2 months ago, I want to say, and I am finally listening to it on audiobook. It's free on Spotify Premium. Right now, I'm actually at the 45% mark. I'm on page 147 on chapter 29. That's a pretty good chunk throughout the book. I am liking it so far. I will say, at first I was like a little iffy because I started reading it in the physical book and I was like, don't know how I feel about this. But usually murder mysteries pick up. Sometimes they're boring, sometimes they're not. This one, I feel like if I wasn't listening to it on audiobook, I would be bored. The audiobook is entertaining enough because I'm listening to it on double the speed, so more things are happening quickly. I'm into it, but I don't see it being anywhere over a 3-star, but we shall see at the end. So without further ado, let's get back to reading the first book of this 10 book challenge. By the way, just to preface, I have already completed 4 books since October 9th that are on my physical TBR. The first one was The Grandest Game. The second one was Nothing Like Movies. And the last 2 were the first and second book of the series of unfortunate events. You guys saw that video. That video is out right now. I just posted it. Right now, I have finished 4 books, so this will be the 5th. And after this, I have 5 more books to read until my birthday so I can buy as many books as I want. Back to reading. What's up guys? So it has been maybe 2 days since I started reading The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. I'm gonna give you an update. So I am 176 pages in. I'm on chapter 41. It's not crazy in the sense that other mystery thrillers are crazy, but it's like plot twisty, it's uncovering secrets. It's not very suspenseful, but it is mysterious because you want to find out what motivates certain characters and what other characters are trying to figure out. It's about a married couple who live in this beautiful house, beautiful mansion, but they live on a cliff. And people unfortunately go to end their lives on that cliff, unfortunately. The husband is always the one saving their lives. He's like, hey, let's talk. How are you doing? Can I help you with something? He gets them out of the cliff's edge and they end up going back home. So essentially he saves their lives until one day, one girl ends up not being saved. And the wife looks at the window and she sees something very mysterious, very peculiar, something that she can't explain. The book is kind of unraveling who the identity of that woman is and also what part this main character's husband had to play. And there's a lot of back and forth. It's dual POV. One point of view is of the woman that went to the cliff's edge, and the other point of view is of the wife of the husband that saves people. And also it's dual timeline. We have the woman on the cliff's edge, past and present, and we have Pippa, the main character whose husband saves people, her past and present timeline. It's kind of like a twisted, mysterious romance because the book goes into how each person, the woman on the cliff's edge and Pippa, how they each found their husbands. So it's kind of romantic, but it's also kind of sinister because it's like, we know that there's love and marriage and family bonds involved, but you also know that there's an underlying suspicion on everyone's account. So basically there's 4 people of interest that we're following. It's very interesting. It's honestly interesting enough that I don't want to put it down whenever I do pick it up. Based on that, I'm gonna go keep reading now and hopefully finish the book today. second update of The Soulmate. I'm on page 238. I'm on chapter 60. These chapters are really, really short, like only 2 to 3 pages long. I'm not bored. The word isn't bored. I'm just kind of like, okay, can we just get to the part where we understand what happened? Because every chapter is so short, there's like one morsel of information that we didn't know before. So they keep giving us information on all 4 characters. So Amanda is the woman that was on the cliff. Gabe is the husband, Pippa is the wife, and Max is the husband of Amanda. Max is like a head honcho business guy. Gabe worked for Max. So everyone's intertwined. We keep finding out more information on Gabe. So as of right now, Gabe is the person of interest. He is the #1 suspect on what happened to Amanda, but we still don't know why Amanda was on the cliff. We don't know what her purpose was. She brought something with her. We don't know what was on the thing that she brought with her. And it's just a bunch of like loose ends. And honestly, I feel like there's so much information that I feel like doesn't need to be there. The author keeps putting information to incriminate Gabe, which is the guy that saves people. But you know, this is the one time he didn't save the woman. And it's like, okay, I just want to know, like, what is the ending? What happened? I'm kind of getting over like every single minute detail that we don't need. I literally have 100 pages left. Just tell me what happened. That's where I'm at. I think I'm gonna take a break of reading right now because I've been reading for hours straight. I'm gonna do something else and then we're gonna come back to this. Guys, coming at you with the final update. I'm done. I finished. I'm so happy because in the span of like 3 to 4 days, I have finished 2 more books off of my physical TBR, meaning I am 6 books strong into the 10-book challenge. Right now, as I'm filming this, it is October 29th. I'm hyped because I have only 4 more books to read before November 14th, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good amount of books before my birthday so that I can get as many books as I want for my birthday. So let's get into the review. I am not going to rate this book because I was not aware. As you guys know, I go into books completely blind. I don't read any synopsis. The only reason I read this one is because I was honestly like a little bit weary about what it would be about because I don't like thrillers. It was less of a mystery, less of a thriller. It was more like a literary fiction with subplots of romance that have mysterious aspects in them, meaning each person has their own secrets and you're getting them revealed to you as the book goes on. This book deals with mental illness very, very heavily. That is the overarching theme of the book. The main character of this book, Gabe, has bipolar disorder and he may or may not have ADHD. The perspective that we're in throughout the entire story is the wife. Her name is Pippa. So we see how being married to someone with such manic episodes of bipolar disorder affects her. That's why I'm not going to be rating this book. I feel like it would be inappropriate to rate a book that deals with such specific and serious topics. I would say this book isn't the happiest. It's not a tale that you go into saying, oh, I want, a fun book. I want a book that's just going to fly by. It does fly by, but if you read it the way that I guess the author intended it to be read, where it deals with serious topics, how to deal with grief, how to deal with loss, how to deal with love, and being in love with somebody that has mental illness that affects you. Based on all those things, it was a very serious book. I wasn't expecting it to be a very serious book, but it was. I thought it was really well done. I really, really enjoyed the writing. The writing had just enough detail. It flew by, but it also was mature. I finished it. Now, let me tell you what I've been listening to. So I have started listening to The Masterpiece. I do have the physical copy, but it is buried underneath a mountain of books right now. So I will get it out shortly, but I'm listening to it on Spotify audiobooks and I'm on chapter 8, I believe. That's what I'm going to be listening to from now on until I finish it. The reason why I listen to audiobooks is because I don't think that I'd be interested enough to read the physical copy. The more the book goes on, I'm becoming very, very interested. The premise of The Masterpiece from the 8 chapters I've read so far is that there's 2 different perspectives and 2 different timelines similar to The Soulmate. And we're following a woman named Grace who has a son and just came out of a very toxic relationship. So she went through a divorce. And the second perspective is this guy named Roman who was in a gang. He got out of the gang and now he's a very famous painter slash artist. So their paths intertwine. She begins working for him and the rest is history. I do believe it's going to be a romance, and this book is qualified as Christian fiction. So I'm very excited. It's by Francine Rivers. Her writing, I think, is one of the best. Like, she has exquisite writing style. I'm excited to see what I think about it. I'm excited to see how she incorporates the Lord into it, and I'm hyped to see if I love it. I'm going to keep listening to that now. Cue another montage. I have an update on the physical TBR 10 book challenge. You know how I just showed you guys the clip where I start reading Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis, which is his sci-fi trilogy? Well, after I opened the book and read 2 pages, I was like, wow, the font is very small and there are no illustrations the way that there were in Narnia. So I was like, honestly, I don't really feel like reading that right now. I'm gonna start reading Betting on You by Lynn Painter because I'm so excited to read this book. It is so cute. It's young adult romance. I have, as of right now, 7 days to finish 3 books. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to finish C.S. Lewis's sci-fi trilogy because, like I said, the font is so small and there's so much in those books. Like, it's a 3-book trilogy and each book is like, the first 2 are over 100 pages, like 190 something. And then the last book is over 300 to 400 pages. I didn't exactly check, but it's substantially thicker. So I was like, I'm not gonna force myself to read that trilogy if I don't feel like it. I'm going to start with books that I want to read. Let me show you the other 2 books that I want to read as well. We have The Dutch Wife by Ellen Keith and we have The Inn by James Patterson. This one I found on Spotify audiobooks, so I may or may not listen to it. James Patterson is an author that I can definitely read through easily. This book is only 363 pages. The Dutch Wife is 340 pages. And Betting on You is, dude, where are the page numbers? 421 pages. But since this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, there's actually, there's a deleted scene that I'm definitely going to read. And it's like around 400 and let's say 60 pages. I'm excited. I believe I can finish this book. If not tomorrow, then the day after tomorrow. And then I could start on either one of these books, but I'm not gonna freak out, stress myself out over the 10 book thing because November is my birthday and I feel like I got a little bit ahead of myself and be like, I have to read 10 books before my birthday. I have to read 10 books before my birthday. I've kind of just come to terms with the fact that, hey, these books are heavy. Like, this is a World War II retelling. This is a young adult romance, which isn't a lot, but it's still a lot of pages. And the majority of the books that I have on my physical TBR are extensive, or you have to pay attention to them to really get the storyline. I'm gonna give myself grace. That being said, I'm definitely still gonna try my best to read 10 books. I'm going to continue reading Betting on You. I started it. I am on page 44. That's where we're at. I'm not gonna put stress on myself because it's my birthday month. Nobody wants stress on their birthday month, so I'm gonna read what I read, and when I read it, the goal is to enjoy, and that's that. That being said, I'm gonna keep reading and enjoy my life. Page 128 of Betting on You. I'm eating it up. The way that Lynn Painter just banter in this book, I feel like she has never done it so well in any other one of her books. I haven't read her adult romances, so I don't know. But in terms of young adult romance, this is hitting the spot. The way I'm giggling, I'm laughing, I'm like, oh my god, like I'm scheming for these people. They're just so fun to read. And also, I think that the illustrations and the cover of this book of the main characters, like I can actually picture them and it makes sense in my head. Yeah, so I really like it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having so much fun. And is this gonna be a 5-star read? I don't think so. It doesn't feel like that yet, but there's still 300 more pages to go, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going for sure. Mm-hmm. I wanted to give you an update on my 10 book physical TBR challenge. I have finished Betting on You, as you guys saw. It has been like 2 or 3 days since I finished this book, and like I said, it's a YA romance by Lynn Painter. When I tell you, I felt all the feels with this book. As you can see, it's a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so I had extra content to read. I had a deleted scene and some of Lynn Painter's notes at the very end. This book was so good, like genuinely so good. It tugged at all the right places in my heart. It made me feel for this couple. I believed like their banter and their playfulness and just the desire to be together, but also the caution and the concern that what would happen if they got together. I rated it a 4.75. I wish I could have rated it a 5 because I've been thinking about it literally every single day, and there's a song that when I listen to the song, all I can think about is Charlie and Bailey. But the ending was just too abrupt, too short, too fast, and you didn't really get to see the dynamic that they had together when they were actually in the relationship. So that was honestly really disappointing. The ending definitely fell flat, but the build up to the relationship was just so good and so real. I've said this so many times and I'll say it again. She knows how to build up a young adult relationship. She understands the feelings and emotions and thoughts that go into being in high school and having a crush on a coworker or having a crush on your classmate, and it's just so relatable. Like, it really just brings you back. She did that exceptionally well. Also, this book was just, I love how it feels. It's soft. The sprayed edges are gorgeous. 4.75. I wish it was 5 so bad, but the ending just did not hit. But I would 100% recommend. Got this book off my physical TBR. Now let me update you guys on the masterpiece. It's been like 8 days. I'm still not done. This book is quite thick. I think I'm around this point. So I've read this much. I have this much left. This book is taking forever, but it's really, really, really good. I have been primarily listening to this book. I haven't been reading it, but I do have the physical copy, and I have a feeling it's gonna be, dare I say, 5 stars, because it is a Christian fiction. It is about a woman who has had a difficult upbringing, a difficult life, meeting a man who has also had a difficult upbringing, a difficult life, and who has now made a name for himself. She's trying to figure out her life. She has a son. There is a single parent trope, and there's this, tough background, traumatic experience, understanding between the two of them. And the more that they get to know each other, the more that they realize, like, hey, I really get this person. This person can be my friend. And obviously there's a romance budding. There's a bunch of different side plots, like opening up and letting people in, and friendship and love and caring and becoming a believer and going to church and coming to Christ. I really love it. There's a lot of spiritual experience in this book. There's a lot of miracles in this book, which I absolutely adore. And I am really, really loving it. So far, I've read 2 Francine Rivers books. The first one was called The Last Sin Eater. That was 5 stars. The second one was And the Shofar Blue. That was also 4.75 stars. This one is definitely up there. So I'm absolutely loving it. I am eating up the romance and how deep and emotional it is, and how deep they're getting into each other's past lives, and basically like forgiving and redeeming all of it is so beautiful. So I'm loving this book. Hopefully I finish it today. I'm still like only in the 70% range, so we'll see, because this book is so thick and so long. After this, I'm only gonna have 2 more books to read before my birthday. I have 4 days, if I include today, to read 2 more books for my birthday. So not sure if I can do that, but we're trying our best. Like I said, I'm taking it easy because it's my birthday month. I'm not gonna stress myself out, because no matter what, I'm going to read these books. That's where I'm at. That's the update, and I will see you guys probably when I either start a new book or when I finish this one. I have a huge update for you guys. You guys saw me finish The Masterpiece by Francine Rivers, and also you saw me finish within a few clips The Inn by James Patterson. Now that I have finished all the books that I'll be reading in this reading vlog, let me debrief them for you. So let's go collect the books. All right, so here is what we're gonna do. I have actually given A Cozy Capers Murder Mystery to a Free Little Library, and I also did the same for The Soulmate. So let's go through those first. I gave A Cozy Capers book a 3.75. 4.75. It was good, but not the best. Would I recommend it? Sure. If you're bored and don't know what to read in the fall time, that would be a great book because it's very simple, very straightforward, not much to it. Then this Soulmate, I did not rate because it dealt with a lot of mental health issues, and I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to rate a story that the author put a lot of time, effort, and research on how to write and represent mental health and how a person that struggles with their mental health impacts everyone around them and those who they love. And then I read Betting on You by Lynn Painter. This one is a 4.75. Like I said before, if the ending was stronger and more well thought out, more well rounded, and just slower paced, I would have given this 5-star. I think about this book so often. Every time I listen to certain music, I think about this book and these characters and their love story. And honestly, I would highly recommend. I absolutely adored this book and I'm so glad I read it. Now let's get into The Masterpiece and the End. So I read The Masterpiece from audiobook on Spotify and also the hard copy. I really liked it. I will say Francine Rivers books for me are usually a slow start, which is why I start listening to them before I read them, because I need to kind of get into the story. I need to get immersed. I need to get to know the characters. And I think she does a really good job at fleshing out her characters so that they feel like real people to me and I can understand their thoughts and motives. So this book is about Grace, and she is a single mom. She's just coming out of a rough divorce. She's trying to get back on her feet. She's trying to figure out what to do with her life, so she applies for a new job. Roman is a super rich, super famous painter, comes from a rough background, jumping from foster home to foster home, and he was able to make a name for himself, literally. If you know, you know. She ends up being his personal assistant, and the rest is history. So I really enjoyed this book. This is a Christian fiction novel, and it deals with grief, it deals with loss, it deals with trauma, it deals with romance and overcoming things that normal adults have to overcome in order to live and love with somebody else. It's really, really awesome. It covers a lot of themes in a really well-rounded way. So I would highly recommend if you're into lit fic, because this was beautiful and it had so much like also scriptural and revelatory things about God and about the Bible that actually like rocked me to my core. So I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend. I think I'm going to settle at a 4.75. I didn't love it enough or think about it enough to rate it a 5-star, but this is still so good. So 4.75 is a great rating for this book. It's also heavy and thick. Then last but not least, I read The Inn by James Patterson. I got this book at a Free Little Library. The way I'm going to sum up this book is that I realized that I need to be more wise with my impulse grabs. And just because it looks good and just because a bunch of people have read it, because in the front cover, I'll show you, it has a bunch of signatures of the people that has read it. It just isn't worth it. So there are some books that I got that are on my current physical TBR that are from Free Little Libraries that I'm never going to read. So I'm like, you know what? This book made me realize I don't have to read them. I don't have to put myself through that. I didn't purchase them. I might as well give them back. After this, I'm going to give this back to a Free Little Library and a few other books off of my physical TBR, but I rated this one 3 stars. It's fine if you want to get into reading. I didn't like how much cussing was in this book. There's a subplot of romance, a heavy plot of mystery. It's not that scary. It's kind of intense, but I listened to it half through audiobook and half through hard copy. I read it in literally 2 days. It was alright. It's nothing revolutionary, but I understand why people like him so much. With that being said, I only read 9 books in this 10-book challenge. I'm still counting that as a success because a 90 is still an A-. So, I mean, in some areas, sometimes it's a B+. I did what I needed to do, and also it's literally my birthday month, so why would I stress myself out for reading a bunch of books when I literally got 9 books off of my physical TBR? I learned something new about my tastes. I'm just overall proud of myself. All that being said, I'm still gonna go and get books for my birthday. Maybe not as much as I would like, but still, you know, a decent amount, because I gotta treat myself. I gotta reward myself. I knocked 9 books off of my physical TBR, and that is a success. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. These are a portion of the books that I read, and I'm so glad that I did. I'll see you guys in my massive birthday book haul. God bless you guys, and peace.